Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anigha Creation. So today's topic is food and health, and anybody this video is especially for the junior section up to class 6 may refer to this video. So let's proceed. So what will you learn in this chapter? So you will learn all about food and its components, balanced diet and diseases. So these three are the main subheadings which we are going to cover in this chapter. So first is food and its components. So as we all know, food is essential for the survival of living organisms. It provides us with energy to carry out daily activities and develop, grow and prepare our body parts in case of any damage, of course. And therefore, understanding the importance of consuming the right kind of food becomes a necessity. So our food, which contains mainly 5 components, which are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. Then this slide is all about the components of food and their functions. You can go one by one through all the components, and functions are also mentioned here. However, looking at the level of junior section, the top 5 and 6 components are more important for you. I can describe those for you. Like carbohydrates. The main function of carbohydrate is these are digested and broken down into glucose and provide energy to the body. And then fat. So fat, the function is it store energy, protects and insulates the important organs. It also helps us to keep our body warm. And then we have proteins. Protein actually help in metabolism, act as enzymes and hormones. And of course vitamins, this helps in maintaining healthy bones, boost the immune system, heal wounds, repairs and damage of cells, and converting food into energy. Like this you can go on. Iodine is there, which helps in formation of thyroid hormone. Calcium, of course we all know, helps in proper functioning of the nervous system and maintain healthy bones. Then we have phosphorus, which helps to maintain acid-base balance in the body. Then we have sodium, it actually helps to control the blood pressure. Then there is iron, which facilitates the formation of hemoglobin. And then we have fibers, they help in food absorption and prevents constipation. And of course the most important is water. They help in absorbing nutrients from the food and release waste from the body in form of urine and sweat. So continuation to this, our next slide is all about the source of important nutrients. So from where we get these important nutrients, like carbohydrate. For carbohydrate, we have to go to rice, pasta, potatoes, milk, sugar, bread and fruits. And if you are looking for fats and lipids, then we have butter, nuts, margarine, oils, avocados, olives and seafoods. And if you are looking for protein, then we have to go to nuts, legumes, dairy, meat, egg white and seafood. And we have vitamins. And for vitamins, we can prefer fruits, vegetables, grains, cells, dairy and soybeans. And then we have water. It's like any beverage you can take. Component of any food, vegetable and fruit also contains water. And mineral, of course, available in bread, meat, milk, vegetables and seafood. Okay, so now a balanced diet. So what is a balanced diet? I know we must have read about this in our earlier and previous classes, and we are of course aware of this. So still let's go through the definition once. This is a diet which contains the right amount of nutrients, roughage and water is called balanced diet. Eating a balanced diet can never lead us to obesity, or of course can never lead us to weakness also. And then consuming the right food is as important as having knowledge of the nutrient content of your food. Okay. Then we have diseases. So this is very important chapter, and this is very important topic of this chapter. And a disease is a particular abnormal condition that negatively affects the structure or function of all or part of an organism, and that is not due to any immediate external injury. Diseases are often known to be medical conditions that are associated with specific signs and symptoms. So, in continuation to this, we have the types of diseases, and the first type of disease is actually it is non-communicable disease. What does it mean? It means non-communicable diseases are those diseases, which do not spread from one person to another. And in some cases, non-communicable diseases are caused because of deficiency of a particular food component, like deficiency of calcium may lead to something, deficiency of some vitamins may lead to something, or you can say deficiency of protein may lead to something, and these kind of diseases are non-communicable. I mean, this will not spread from person to person or person to any other form. So let's see some example of non-communicable diseases. So these are some important example of non-communicable diseases. You may go through this chart in detail. However, I will explain few of these. Like the first one is xerothymia, which is actually the symptoms are blindness from chronic eye infections, poor growth, dryness, and keratinization of epithelial tissues. And food rich in this Q nutrient are liver, fortified milk, sweet potatoes, spinach, green fruits, carrots, cantaloupe, and apricots. So this is basically caused by the deficiency of vitamin A. Then we have rickets, which is caused due to the deficiency of vitamin D, and the symptoms are weakened bones, bowed legs, other bone deformities, and the food rich in vitamin D are fortified milk, fish oils, of course sun exposure, or we can say sun bath. So in this way there are few more, and what is more important for you is scurvy, anemia. So please go through this guys, and if you have any doubt, any query from any part of this topic of this chapter, please feel free to comment me. So I can explain this scurvy also. This scurvy is happening due to the deficiency of vitamin C, and the symptoms are delayed wound healings and internal bleeding, abnormal formation of bones and teeth, and the food rich are actually citrus fruit are good source of vitamin C, and of course strawberries and broccoli. Okay guys, then the next slide is all about communicable diseases. This is the second type of disease. So after finishing non-communicable, we are into the communicable diseases. So it can spread from one person to another. Okay, so how it can spread? How it can spread. So there are several modes by which a disease can spread from one person to another. The first can be through direct contact with an infected person, like coughing, sneezing, or shaking hand, anything it can be. So if a disease is being transferred or communicated from one person to another person, it can be through a direct contact, it can be through dirty food and water, of course. Like dirty food and water may cause you several kinds of diseases like diarrhea, typhoid, etc. And then there is insects. So insects can also spread disease like dengue, malaria, etc. So these are the modes through which disease may spread. You really have to go through these modes. They're very important: direct contact, dirty food and water, and through insects. Okay, now let's see some examples of communicable diseases. These are the most important examples of communicable diseases. You may go through these examples and chart in detail. However, chicken pox, common cold, conjunctivitis, and tuberculosis, these are the most important. So signs and symptoms are written in detail, incubation period is there, and how it is transferred, the mode of transfer is also written, and the preventions are also given in the chart. You may go through this in detail. One more thing which I can, I think it needs to be explained. What is incubation period? So incubation period is actually the time, when the virus or bacteria enters your body, and when you show the symptoms that first day, the time taken between that, the virus entered and the symptoms are shown now, that time is known as incubation period. So please go through this chart in detail. You will get to know a lot of things about the diseases, and I don't think anything is left. Okay, now we are left with the references. I mean, from where I have taken these data. So these are from Wikipedia, Values blog, Vedanta blogs, and of course our Science in Everyday Life book. So guys, if you have any problem, any confusion from this topic, please feel free to contact and comment me. So I am finishing this video and not wasting much of your time. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.